how is it possible that we hear nothing about Kyrie Irving being an asshole? Nothing. He's not distributing copies of Mein Kampf courtside anymore. Wearing like a Das Boot shirt. Fucking asshole of a human being, but Jesus.
Someone got to him, like either age. I'm sure he has kids by now. Being an adult, whatever has got something happened because it's night and day. Like it's so funny. People are trying to compliment him, and I wanted to criticize him, and then I thought, I'm like, wait, that's true. I haven't heard anything. I didn't know he was still playing, so he must be quiet.
He's as quiet and respectful as Mike Conley would be.
Yes.
Right? A guy that never has been immersed in any controversy in his lifetime, going all the way back to his days at Ohio State.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubitz. If there is a Game 7, is that true, Lubie? Well, they wouldn't be doing the Canadian national anthem at a Bruins-Panthers game.
No.
You would have been maybe invited to do the Canadian national anthem. You would be brilliant at it. I mean, you don't fit the part. You need to be a baritone to do that. Oh, Canada. You don't ever hear anybody with a high-pitched voice or anything that would be considered even in the soprano range doing a Canadian national anthem, do you?
No. It's usually that, like Goulet. Like that's like the...
Yeah. You need like Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers, not the other guy who checked out, Bobby Hatfield, man. He checked out a long time ago. Medley's still around, man, recording duets with people and making lots of money. All right, welcome to the show. Good to have you guys with us. We got started a little bit late today. We're going to have a trivia challenge. Dave Gurggles Gergely is already hanging in there. He's on board, so we'll get that going about 8:20. Which, what is it now? It's already 8:13. We got started a little bit on the late side. Gurggles is going to join us, but this is great because Lubie has put together. Is Art Basel this week or something? You might be able to enter this in the Art Basel competition, if there is a competition there, at least, because you have put together like a mixed media extravaganza for today that's going to continue somewhere into like well past 9 o'clock, because we're going to have Red Deer Randy Moeller join us. Wanted to talk a little pucks. Moeller not inclined to get up real early, and the game is what? Tonight, right? Friday night.
Tonight's Rangers, so we'll know more about their series. And then tomorrow's
the Bruins and the Cats.
Panthers, yes, sir.
And then Game 7 would be on Sunday here in South Florida, if it takes place. What kind of odds are you laying on that, Lubie? Is this much ado about nothing that the Bruins won Game 5?
Oh, it's something, and I don't want a Game 7. I'm telling you right now, if I'm the Panthers, you already let them have more urgency, whatever people are saying. That both teams, it was the closest game in the series, but it felt like the Bruins were getting to all the pucks. It felt like Bruins were getting more rebounds. It felt like Bruins were peppering. Look, Swayman had to face some opportunities, but it felt like Bobrovsky faced a lot more trouble than he faced. That can't happen in Game 6. They played well in Boston. The 2 games, they played well in Boston last year, winning a Game 7. You don't want a Game 7. You don't want it to come down to one game. Then weird shit can really get involved.
Well, it does anyway. I mean, in hockey, look,
still, like
you watch a team, looks like they're badly outplaying the other team, at least in terms of hustling, getting the pucks like you were talking about, crashing the net, firing shots up there.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, after pressuring the other team for what seems like a solid 3-4 minutes in the offensive end with multiple opportunities from point-blank range, other team goes down there, a little dipsy-doodle playing, boom.
Let's go.
There to go. Fluke bounce. All kinds of crazy shit happens in hockey, and much more so than, I mean, it's an abstract game by comparison to basketball. I think that's about the only way to really appreciate what the hell's going on out there. But it is a lot of fun. Well, we'll see. I kind of like the idea of a scare and a Game 7, just to jolt the fans out of what seems to be the sort of reserved position they're taking. That and right after we declared that the Panthers were going to win the Stanley Cup.
You started it.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Exactly.
But the mixed media thing, I mean, is on for today. You people are in for a rare treat because yesterday we were out and there was a little rescheduling done as our good friend Rena Subone, who I would have to say, seldom am I surprised. Like you're thinking, okay, we're going to have a guy on who's going to talk about hockey, but it's sort of going to be a spoof on having a hockey expert on.
Yes.
Because this guy is just I mean, I don't even know that he's watching hockey anymore. He has some experience with it. The distinction to have him on would be he's the brother-in-law of Roberto Luongo, and we
Which is
like his
cool.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Not exactly qualifications, for breaking in on the TNT crew or whatever.
Yeah.
And yet he turned out. Not only does he know what the fuck is going on, he's in tune with everything, and is probably one of our more astute commentators. Period. In
Yes.
addition to being wildly entertaining.
Yes.
So we end up with the Mike Mayo Lunchbox Show. He was supposed to be entertaining that today. Couldn't do it, so we went out yesterday afternoon. And now, what happened? You had a time frame thing. You know that without specific instructions and somebody with a hammer to hit him right over his fingertips as the time is expiring. You know that there's no way Mayo is going to calculate this hour, right?
Well, no, I didn't even tell. This system is weird. Like when we're live doing a show, obviously we can go as long as we want. We used to do 2+ hours a day, so there's no time limit in that. If you do a show, and what's cool about this, it records everything. You can actually re-air it another time, as we do regularly on Mike Mayo Lunchbox.
But you have to hit the hour.
That if you're doing a show that's here in the system, that can be longer than an hour. However, it only holds those shows for like 2 weeks. That's how big the
whatever this memory is.
The memory, the storage in the system. 2 weeks, right? Okay. So if you want to do something that's another time, you have to download it and upload it back in. Now it's a weird thing because those items, if you're putting it into the system on your own, it only allows you to do an hour's worth. And that's what yesterday was.
Oh, okay. All right.
As it never aired. We didn't air it and then reschedule it. We were recording it using this system, and it was like it was being uploaded. So it only went to an hour. And I didn't know that. I don't fucking know. But which is whatever. I mean, it's fine. I didn't mind us just going as long. I have the ability to edit. So I don't give a fuck.
All right. Well, and you're going to bring a piece of that out of another show into this show, what, at around 9:00?
I'd like to. We did a lot of good hockey talk. It doesn't really fit the lunchbox. People usually we do sports there and it's fine, but since we're recording, I can pick and choose what we air there.
Mayo always apologizes, but then he'll do like 20 minutes on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's whatever. I don't apologize. When we do it, we do it. We talk
about. People would be talking about sports over lunch anyway.
Yeah, why not?
100%. Would they not? I mean, is that not a common occurrence where people get together, they go to a place like Heritage, which would be a dynamite place, hang out at lunchtime?
Great.
I guess it's packed at dinner time. They don't have a lot of tables in there, but wow, very tasty offering. So anyway, you're going to mix that in possibly with this show at the end of what normally would be the end of this show, and we're going to continue and bridge the gap of time between 9:00 and 9:30 when Red Deer Randy Moeller is going to join us. And we normally, I mean, you have to be a man of some distinction for us to hold over to not only an extra half hour of the show, but then continue. Right on through until Mueller could talk all day. I mean, we love this guy, so
we don't have to. I just figure why not. I mean, we don't do it often, and whatever.
Whatever you want to do. All right, you figure it out because this will be like something that literally you could enter at Art Basel, right? It's like taping a banana to a blank canvas and saying, "Hey, that's mixed media."
There you go, mixed media.
You got the electrical tape, you got the banana, you got the canvas. It's supposed to be art. Imagine that somebody bought that thing for like $1 million. That's incredible. We really should stuff a palm tree in a toilet bowl. Lubie, how have we not done that?
And you probably would. We could still do it. I've never seen it down there, and it would, especially if you put a catchy like fucking phrase behind it.
Life.
Yeah, you just say that and let people come up with whatever they want.
This is life. Yeah,
that's it.
Your roots are in the fucking gutter.
Exactly.
You could be flushed away in an instant, no matter how beautiful, no matter how tall, no matter how much the palm fronds sprout out and look absolutely amazing, much like Dave Gurggles Gergely.
I guess perfect time to bring in Dave Gurggles.
Yeah, when we completely lost our fucking minds. I didn't mean for that saliva to get all over you there, Gurggles, but I couldn't help it. Gurggles, how are you, man? You look good, kid.
Can you not hear us?
Just as that happened, Gurggles froze up like a...
Oh, no, he froze.
Like a mackerel here.
He's been there for 10 minutes.
Now the phone's ringing, all kinds of shit is going on.
We're getting people want to play.
All right, so we're going to get into that, a little bit of the trivia challenge, if we can work it out with Dave Gurggles Gergely. And then supposedly, I don't know how we're going to handle this yet. It sounds like you're making executive production decisions on the fly here, Libby, Because my understanding was we were going to just try to meddle our way all the way through 9:30, get to Randy Moeller, and then get his thoughts on the series. Which I don't know. Are you running a scared, Lubie? It seems like what I
No.
could gather. Does anybody out there, show of hands, in the South Florida audience? This is pretty much our local entry here in the streaming world. Is anybody in the South Florida audience inclined to believe that the Panthers somehow blow what
Oh, yeah,
was a
probably.
3-1 lead in the series after winning 3 straight, lose 3 straight subsequent to that, and get knocked out of the postseason? At this point, does it not seem close to unfathomable, Lubie? I mean,
It's-
even if they lose Game 6, I think I would approach Game 7 with a lot of confidence for some reason.
I mean, you would. I look if
Yeah.
you blow 2 games, you have a 3-1 lead at home.
Notice it's we now. We didn't give a
Yeah,
fuck
it's
about these
fine.
guys 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
No, you've been on the Panthers for a while. You just lamented
No,
on this post.
I'm a big fan of the game, and I think you're. I
There
mean,
he is.
it's a little abstract, like I said,
Yes.
but you have more excitement being produced by far overall in the. I mean, it's relative to what you think about the sport in general, but the hockey has been nothing but a bloodbath all
Doing
the way
great.
around.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm not cocky. I'm not confident. I'm not scared either. It's in the middle. I'm anxious because again, it's hockey and you never know.
Yeah.
We also saw this last year. The Panthers were the team that were the lower seeded team, and they were down 3-1 and came back and won. So look, if the Panthers could do it, why couldn't the Bruins? They're not going to be an easy out. They are a physical team, and they can keep games close. They have a really good goalie, which is what you need to come back in a series. So I'm pretty just open in what I think of this series. I am not confident. I'm not scared. I'm just curious as to see if they can finish it off, because that's the thing. The Panthers have been in control most of this series outside of game 1. Even in the game they lost recently, they weren't. It wasn't like they were getting blown away in game 5. So I'm pensive is more what I am for this
In
game.
other words, you have no opinion on this thing.
I have an opinion, obviously. I'm not going on a limb.
You're in the
anymore.
sportscasting business, and you just perfectly painted a picture so that there's no way you could be wrong.
Yeah, I think
they could do it, but you know what? I'm cautious.
If I would pick them to win in 6. But
Come on, make a call here, Lubie.
well, you're not asking me to make a pick. You're saying, how
Yeah.
do you feel? The way I
Okay.
feel.
Well, I mean,
is
most
in the
people
middle.
feel you don't feel as comfortable.
Yeah,
You look
I'm in
like
the
Tom
middle.
Thibodeau on this thing. You really do.
I'm in the middle on it.
Like somebody just shoved a flagpole up your ass. and
I'm
the
not
ball was-
scared shitless, but I'm not confident. Again, I've said it from the beginning. These 8 teams
Yeah.
for both kinds, and that's what we're seeing in these series, are very even. So to
All right.
me, I'm not cocky or scared. I could see it going either way, to be brutally honest.
And he hit it right on the head. A lot of double talk.
But
there,
it's
Lubie.
true, though.
Let's bring Gurggles in here.
He's right
Gurggles,
there.
what do you think? You be Judge Judy on this thing.
I think it's
I don't
done.
mean to hammer Lubie because I do this all the time. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Look,
3-2 Panthers with 4 minutes left. The Bruins pull a goalie. Panthers win 4-2 on an empty net goal.
okay, good. All
That's
right.
easy.
And there's a
By
guy
the
that's
way, the odds are the Panthers are minus 750 to win the series, and the
minus
Bruins are
750.
plus 450 to win the series. So big numbers.
I'd be more inclined to take a sniff on that. And at the same time, I mean, I'm giving Lubie shit, but my opinion is no doubt. Yeah, well, they got a shot, but then again, they might lose. It's.
It's just what
I don't know why though. Since I declared them as the likely winner of the Stanley Cup, there's only been one game, but naturally it ended up in a loss. Nothing but red ink. All right, Gurggles, we're going to do the trivia challenge. We have a Landlubber's gift certificate to give away, and you're invited to compete at 954-417-0070, right? Is that it?
Right in
0070.
front of you. 0070. Yes. Sir.
Okay, good. I keep, thinking I'll give out my cell phone number here. 954-417-0070. It's a special Lubie dedicated line to get you right through on the program.
Yes.
You'll have a shot to win the gift certificate to Landlubbers, where Lubie will be tonight with his live trivia challenge. That's always a lot of fun. And, of course, you'll have the distinction of being a champion on the trivia challenge, and getting a chance to go and bang heads with one Dave Gurggles Gergely. Gurggles, how are you? What's going on in your world?
Doing great. We're busy here at the golf course. Saturday we have a group from a nice Irish bar downtown Miami called the Dubliner. So there'll be 44 Irish guys out here playing a little golf, and they might have a drink or two while they're here as well. But the course in great shape. We had a terrific memorial service for the late Senator Bob Graham at what used to be Stake 2. And on the video, they showed Jimmy Buffett dressed as Bob Graham with a suit and tie and introducing Bob Graham as Jimmy Buffett singing Wasted Away in Tallahasseeville. It was a great
That's great.
song they did many years ago. But he was a terrific guy, as you know.
Yeah.
And he'll be missed, but what a great ceremony for him.
Very down to earth, man of great distinction. Yes. I mean, whether you agreed with whatever he did politically, which most people, we Jews did, that's for sure. But nonetheless, yeah, very, very humble guy. I never forget when he sat down in that middle seat on what I believe was a Spirit Airlines flight and just shot the shit with me and the guy that was sitting on the outside on the aisle the entire time for like the 40 minutes it took us to fly from
Paulie Man
Orlando.
said he met him, and
Yeah.
Bob Graham was famous for carrying little notebooks and taking notes about the people he met.
Yeah.
And Paulie said when he met him, he brought out the notebook, and Paulie said, "Oh no, what do I owe you?" So,
Who sent you would be Paulie Man's first question.
yes,
Was it Eddie? I hope not. Eddie took a kind view of the Paulie Man, which was fortunate because, I mean, it really was threatening whenever Vito was around. That's for sure. Even if he was there on a friendly, jovial type of basis, there was always a chance that like something could set him off, right, Lubie? Were you not worried about that with Vito?
No, Vito, I was never comfortable around.
Oh my God!
I did nothing wrong, and he liked me.
What a
He was
monster!
kind to me. I was in his presence. I watched my words, and I watched my P's and Q's. He scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah, you could say, "Hey, how you doing, Vito?" And he'd give you that look,
Yep.
and you're like, "Who wants to know?"
Yeah.
Well, what do I look like? I'm with the fucking FBI. Get out of here! All right, so you've been busy, Gurggles. That's good. Now, do you find this to be true? Because it's true in other sports. We'll see like Grand Slam events are taking place in tennis. All of a sudden, the tennis courts are all booked. Do you find more people play golf around a time when majors are being contested? Is that a truism, or is it just pretty much the same?
It happens after the majors a lot of times. Yeah, after the majors they get out, but it's especially if it's a very popular victory. This Valhalla PGA is very interesting.
Have you seen this course in your golf travels?
He's on top of his game. And I've got a great Masters trivia question I'll work in a little later about the PGA after the Masters.
Of the following, who is not on the list of guys, Yankees, prior to Aaron Judge joining this group yesterday, who is not on the list of guys who have had 4 extra base hits in a game 2 times in a season? Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Horace Clark.
Well, I think Horace Clark definitely would. He was a good hitter. I was looking for Jerry
it had
Kenny.
To be Clark. I mean, come on.
I was thinking Jerry Kenny.
Yeah, he joined that group. I thought maybe, I didn't want to give away a question, but it just struck me as I was looking that you always got to throw in the one absurd name that doesn't fit, and then it turns out that it was the Bambino. He didn't have 4 extra base hits twice in a season. All right, we're going to get into the trivia challenge here, Lubie. What do you say? Should we just get into it right away?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I think we have an out-of-town player to start us out, I believe. Not that I'm predicting what will happen with the random phone scrambler, but it's kind of easy to do since we only have the one line operating. And that's 954-417-0070. So, Gurggles, in honor of our good friend, the Paulie Man, who will have to get his opinion, I don't know that it's overwhelmingly exciting, the Preakness lineup now with Muth out of the picture, OOP, as they say in dog racing. And I'm getting a little nervous here, Lubie, because it does appear
he froze again. Yeah, 100%.
that Gurggles is either one of those guys that you see in Las Vegas that is in the exact same position for like an hour, and you're thinking that can't be a real person, can it?
No, it's not a real person. He froze. I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
All right, we'll fly in this break then, and then we'll try to get Gurggles back, and then we'll get into the game here. 954-417-0070, because I'm anxious to hear from this, first contributor to the contest. So we'll be back with more in a moment. Now that. And hopefully with an unfrozen Dave Gurggles. Did you take the turkey out? There he is.
I'm here. I don't know what happened.
But we're going to test it here. We're going to work in these spots here. So like a minute and a half, we'll come back. We'll play the game. Now that. The time. Well, this really is a mishmash today here, Lubie. It's mixed media is what it's all about. It's 8:31. Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now a mile and an 8. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici just switched the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Speaking about skating on thin ice here, Gurggles already fearing maybe the worst, talking about the camera disappearing. It happened to us yesterday, Gurgs. The camera just ran out of gas, Lubie's camera, on his computer. So got a new one already, though. I mean, the modern day, it's not like you're thinking, I really don't want to schlep all the way out to Best Buy. I mean, fuck that. It's at your door before you even got home. You had a new camera. It's amazing. Yep. All right, let's get right into the game here while we have Dave Gurggles Gergely and try and get it started, because we want to get right to your contestants in competition here, Lubie. 954-417-0070. First set of questions in honor of the Polyman. Here's Dave Gurggles Gergely and some.
Easy baseball. This baseball manager on his relationship with his players said, I'm not buddy-buddy with my players. If they need a buddy, let them get a dog. Whitey Herzog, Whitey Ford, Whitey Stapleton, or Whitey Bulger?
Whitey Herzog, who just checked out recently. It's a very interesting cat. Look at this, Lubie. Holy Wayne Newton, what do we have here? Could he be in Las Vegas right now, or is he here on the East Coast? Sheldon G., welcome to the Trivia
I'm in
Challenge.
Vegas.
You're in Vegas. Wow, good for you.
Vegas, wow.
I'm in Vegas. It's 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you at the South Point already, sending it in, man? We live vicariously through you, my friend. Keep those posts coming.
Oh,
Not yet. Having a cup of coffee. Got to feed the dogs.
Very good. How many do you have now? I
By the
mean,
way, I only have 3 now. I used to, one time I had 17.
Really?
I mean, it really was something. Now, were these all adopted former Greyhound racers?
Yes. I had from China. They would bring them in. They used to race a man cow, and some of them were in the worst condition you could ever imagine. One had a broken leg that was tied up with duct tape.
Oh, geez.
It was terrible. Yeah, but I got them all fixed up, got them all rehomed, and it's just something I love to do besides gambling.
Yeah, very noble of you. Gurggles, what do you got here? Sheldon G., man. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Sheldon, I remember you bringing your one dog, and if I'm not mistaken, his name was Corvette.
Yeah, she's still around. She's the
I remember
of all the others. Yes,
Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And first of all, I got to apologize to you because 2 weeks ago when I saw you, my friend tried to steal your New York Post.
That's right. That's right. It
At least it
costs
wasn't
like
his racing form.
$2.50 now. Yeah, I remember.
He got up to make a bet, and my friend ran over and grabbed the post off the table.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah. It's not like the old days when you used to be able to just put
it's like
like
an
one little
automatic.
page of a racing form on a seat, and King Charles could come over and sit in that seat, and you'd say, "Hey, wait a minute, my paper was there," and he'd get up and say, "Sorry."
Well, it would have served him right because the horses I circled ran out of the money.
Yeah.
To pick the post up.
All right, you have 1 point, Sheldon G. You're in the game, my friend. Congratulations, and here we go.
Hey,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. True or false, Sheldon? And I know you're a horse player. Believe it or not, the Woodlawn vase presented to the winning owner of the Preakness is the most valuable trophy of all sports. True or false?
I would say true.
I believe that to be true.
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
$1
it
million
is.
one by Tiffany, and up until a few years ago, they gave it to the owners for a year, but that changed, and now they get a replica instead.
All right, very good. More valuable than Wimbledon, all of these other trophies that
Yep.
Bjorn Borg was hawking. Unbelievable. All right, you have 2 going for 5.
All right, golf, Sheldon. If Scotty Scheffler wins the PGA Championship, it would be 2 majors in a row. Who was the last player
Oh,
to
good.
start the year on the PGA by winning the first 2 majors? What's that? Brooks Koepka, Tiger Woods, John Rahm, or Jordan Spieth?
Knowing zero about golf, I'll say B for boy.
B.
B, the second choice.
No, it was Jordan Spieth did it in 2015.
I would have said Koepka.
He's El Finito, though. I wouldn't bet. You're not betting golf, Sheldon G? It's a great bet.
Nope.
No?
No golf, no hockey.
No golf.
All
and
right,
no
then
hockey.
we'll give you a basketball question.
Here
A
we go.
5-point question. Which NBA team became the first to lose 3 straight NBA finals?
All
What's
right.
that? The Minneapolis/Los Angeles Lakers, the Philadelphia 76ers, the St. Louis Hawks, or the New York Knicks?
Wow.
Well, boy. I'll say the Minneapolis, Los Angeles Lakers.
Lakers.
No, you have to go back to
Hawks?
the year Jeff was born and the year I was born. The New York Knicks lost in 51, 52, and 53.
My God.
Wow.
Holy shit.
No wonder they've been cursed.
Well,
Sheldon G, thanks for playing a game.
Good to hear from you,
Are you
Sheldon.
off to
Okay.
White Castle? Well,
Great
what time do you
talking
hit?
to you guys.
What time do you hit White Castle in the morning?
Well, I eat breakfast at home. White Castle, I usually hit around 2 in the afternoon.
all right,
And what time do you hit the can? I mean, do you hit the toilet?
That's the whole
Does
idea.
your doctor recommend this to maintain steady and consistent bowel movements, no matter how thin they may be?
Yeah. Instead of taking those other enemas, that's what I do.
This is
That's
great
it.
early morning radio, really. All right.
Tremendous, yeah.
Thanks
Sheldon
a lot.
G, we love you, man. Thanks for tuning in. It's always a
Stay well,
pleasure
Sheldon.
knowing that you're out there. Yeah, Sheldon G. That very noble what he did with the Greyhounds, man.
Yeah.
That is great. I can't believe, you know what? It's funny because we used to embrace this stuff, and I guess it's still a question in horse racing whether or not these animals are treated. I mean, would they be subjecting themselves to unbelievable, catastrophic, results if they were making up their own decisions? And the dog racing, wow, the cruelty that was involved in that sport, my God.
Yeah.
Didn't you always think? I mean, I always felt this way though about horse racing, Gurggles. You've been on the backstretch at racetracks and gotten to know a lot
Yes.
of people, and you even see them milling about in the crowd. It's not like these people are hard to find that are sort of behind the scenes people in horse racing. But I was always of the impression that they had like nothing but the most pure and utmost love for these animals. I don't know. We know about all of the trainers that have been using juice and this, that, and the other thing, and illegal drugs, but. Did you not get that general impression that most of the people really were, overwhelmingly caring about the animals that were involved in the sport?
Well, especially the grooms and the people in the stable. I always thought they really took care of the horse. The trainer sometimes could be a little tough on them, but I thought the grooms and the others really cared for them as if they were their personal pets. Yeah, by all
Exercise riders seem to have like nothing but affection for these horses. They were working in the morning. It's always a weird debate. I mean, what level of in this case, injury risk do you subject an animal to for the entertainment, of human beings. And wow, I mean, imagine a broken leg and it's got duct tape on it. Unbelievable.
Wow.
So congratulations, Sheldon G, on all of that. It's great being a big dog advocate. All right, but Sheldon G, unfortunately, didn't tally enough to be worthy of being in the finals. So we're going to continue in the quest of brilliance here on the Trivia Challenge. You can dial us up 954-417-0070. And here's Dave with our next set of questions.
Football. This NFL coach, referring to an injured player, said, I don't know what he has, a pulled groin, a hip flexor, I don't know, pulled something. I never pulled anything. You can't pull fat. Who was that? Was that Bruce Coslett, Bruce Lee, Lee Lacey, or Cagney and Lacey?
All right, roll it, Lubie. Yeah. So we've been to the South Point Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada so far today, and now Century Village in Boca.
I think he lives in Century Village.
Andy, explain yourself, Andy. I know you were in the hospital for like a month, but Century Village, how's that going?
Oh, you're really in Century? Oh, I thought he was joking. You actually have made the move.
Yeah, I made the move here. I like it. They call me kid in this place.
You got oxygen mask attached to you, tanks on your back, and you're a kid.
You the kid.
Am I hopping on my right leg? I beat this 90-year-old to the post office today.
Have you played any shuffleboard there? I mean, I hear that's very intense competition at times.
The shuffleboard's a tough sport. I bet on I've been betting ping pong at 3:30 in the morning. It's amazing. When the guy's up two games and it's 9-3, and I lay like 1,100 to 1. You know, and it's my new bet.
And the one guy is identified as Kim Jong Un's favorite player. The likelihood of him losing probably slim, right? All right, Andy, you have a point. You're in the game, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the lifestyle there. Century Village, Boca Raton. Unbelievable.
I've never been to the Boca one.
All right.
I just moved last week when I got out of the hospital. Yeah.
A month before, before this hospital stay, he was at the Boca Resort picking up chicks at the bar.
Honestly, he's like, "Fucking, this is easier."
Now he's picking up. He's picking up their teeth now. All right.
It's probably cheaper.
All right, true or false?
When everybody's teeth are in a jar at the table, yeah, it is kind of a bad sign. Yeah, Gurgs.
All right, true or false? Horse racing, Andy, right up your alley. Believe it or not, the Derby and the Preakness actually ran on the same day on two different occasions.
Really?
True or false?
Jesus. Coming off guard with that.
That makes it's probably true, but I'll go with false. I mean, it makes no sense.
No, you were right. It is true. Yeah, they
that's
did
what
it.
I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Did he get it wrong?
What was the reason? Do we know? World War II or something?
No, I forget the reason, but I know it was twice. All right.
Usually, I mean, when you're tracking some sports aberration, it was like World War II, the Korean War. It goes back that far. Maybe I would imagine it even preceded that, though, right? Doesn't that sound like something that had to happen in like 1898? Yeah.
You're trying to kill the horse. Like, that's crazy.
Unbelievable. Well, no, I mean, they didn't run. Yeah.
Different horses, just the same race. Is okay.
Okay, Andy, you have one. You're going for four. You're going for 4.
3-point question.
Like the Hamiltonian, they run like 3 heats.
Yes.
Yeah, they
that's
do.
true. Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
Carmine Abatello, man, strangling 3 horses in the same day. Unbelievable.
Baseball, Andy, 3 points. The late Tony Gwynn struck out just 188 times during the entire decade of the 1980s, and only once was he struck out 3 times in the same game. And that came versus
Nolan
Steve
Ryan.
Carlton, Jerry Royce, Charlie Huff, or Bob Welch.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Don't tell me this.
Charlie Huff's in there.
It can't be right.
The knuckler? He couldn't handle a knuckler? What do you think, Andy?
Man, this is such an obscure question. This is like, I'll go with the big lefty, Steve
Carlton.
It's got
No, it was
Bob
not the
Welch.
Oh, thank God.
Bob Welch. Yeah, I was going to say Bob Welch for some
Well,
reason.
it's fucking
Yeah.
off.
The flame-throwing right-hander is on the mound today, and it's going to be a beautiful day here in Chavez Ravine. Pull up a chair and stay a while. All right, you got a shot at 6 points, Andy, in the lead.
All right, Andy, we'll switch over to golf. This weekend's PGA Championship is being held for the 4th time at Valhalla in Louisville. Only one course has hosted the PGA more times, 5 times. Which of the following courses is that?
All right.
Southern Hills, Oakmont, Marion, or Pinehurst?
Wow.
I think it's Oakmont.
I want to say Oakmont.
No, Oakmont did it 4. It's Southern Hills did it 5 times.
Southern Hills, Yana.
Hey,
Neil Young song. All right.
Shelly G's in the lead. He's got two.
With 2.
Shelly G's.
Yeah, we might be coming back to you, though, Andy. You never know. I mean, we may have to juxtapose the rules. Because you think Sheldon G went back to sleep? No, this guy's got a lot of energy,
No, I think
Sheldon
he
G.
started his day at 5:30.
Yeah, I mean, I do. We live by. Do you see his posts? You have Sheldon G on Facebook, and he puts up these tickets that he's betting at the South Point Casino, and you're like, really? That's a staggering amount of money. I mean, what we're seeing this guy putting up huge bets. A friend of mine sent me a ticket. He's betting baseball parlays at 5 times a pop. 2-team baseball parlays. He says unload against the A's. It's time to start unloading. Like just take the gimme. Is this like taking the 1-2 shot on Top Gurggles? I know you're not inclined to do that, but
Never do it.
do you ever just concede, and say, hey, look, this horse can't lose, so let's hope we get a couple of bombs, second and third? Or do you always
I'll do that. I'll play him first with a bunch of horses, and then somebody third. Then I'll play him in the second spot too, in case the bomb does win.
Yeah.
Like when our Kang won the Breeders' Cup, I hit that try.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. No, you have an uncanny ability to cash these type of tickets, Gurggles. Gurggles will be quiet for a while, then all of a sudden you hear him, come on with that 3. Come on, Jimmy Graham. Come on with that 3. And you're looking on the board going, wait a minute, man. The fucking 3 is like 29-1. And then he airs by 3 lengths. And you see Gurggles,
Just last week
yeah.
at Gulfstream, there was a horse, first-time starter, ridden by Luca Panici named Nando.
Oh, get out of here.
Fernando.
How do you
30
not
to
bet
1.
that? Yeah.
30 to 1. Me and Fernando. So I played him in an exacta with Jaramillo, who was 25 to 1.
Get out of here.
Jaramillo wins. Nando runs second. The exacta paid 700.
Woo!
So yeah, got to go with
Sweet.
names sometime.
Sweet, man. No, that you had to bet. I mean, you had to put a couple of bucks for Nando on that, too.
And of course, Nando bet 20 to win on him, and he paid $26 to place. So that's
It's the game, man. I mean, it's not called winning; it's called gambling. That's for sure. There are many ways to fuck it up. The track probably offers more than even any deranged parlay sequence that you're going to bet in sports betting. I like the disclaimer now on FanDuel TV. You probably catch it. Oh no, you don't have cable television, right? So you don't watch any FanDuel TV. That's
on
amazing.
The antenna, though.
Okay, because now do you get it on your phone or something? Are you watching races somewhere?
No.
Okay. So they have a disclaimer now on FanDuel TV where they're encouraging you to bet on fucking everything. I mean, like crazy shit. Combined rebounds and assists for some scrub that never gets off the bench. Then all of a sudden Thibodeau was playing the guy as if he was in on the action, as if it was Jonte Porter, who, essentially was telling people, hey, don't worry about the assist total. I'm not even going to play tonight. It's insane. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you got to bet the name sometimes. There's no doubt about it, and go with the hunch plays. Now with Muth out of the Preakness, what do you think, Gurgs? Do you have an opinion on this
That's
thing?
a good question. I'm going to take a shot with Rosario just laying right off imagination with a horse Just Steal, and take a
Just
shot
Steal,
to maybe
okay.
him. Because the Preakness, they don't come out of it like from the Derby. They don't come from out of it. The Preakness, they seem to be
Front
top
end,
four
yeah.
heading for the stretch. It's a shorter stretch. So I'll take a shot with Rosario and Just Steal, and I'll use him with Mystic Dan, Catch Freedom, and maybe Uncle Heavy.
Oh, very
I'll
nice.
bet that one for Lenny.
Lenny seems to have slimmed down, man. Is he still on that salad diet? Yeah, because, I mean, you guys see
Hard
him.
to find the salad underneath the cheeseburger bun.
No.
Well, I mean, look, sometimes you just can't resist the specials when they're that good.
Landlubbers, it's the best. Yep.
Traveling to many restaurants now, and you become a familiar figure in a lot of these places. I mean, he walks into Heritage, which normally would be a place that you wouldn't figure was going to be on Lubie's radar, Although he is an aficionado of fine food, but he's over there in what, like the Coconut Creek area somewhere. All right, so are you schlepping down to this new district, where they mowed down the Sears? Probably not. You're probably going to a place near the house. But he walks in there, and the waiters are all high-fiving him. Chef calls him back to give him a hug. The bartender knows what he's drinking. It's amazing how he's expanded his horizons here.
You want
just incredible.
2 lemons with your water, Mr. Lubie?
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Lubitz, how are you today, right? As he slips him a 20. I mean, very uncharacteristic, Lubie.
Don't go that far.
All right, let's get another player in here, and then we'll cut you loose, Gurggles. So go ahead, fire off the next set of questions.
All right, this is a flashback. Horse racing. This comedian when asked about his day at the track said, I don't know, I bet on a horse at 10-1, and it didn't come in till 5:30. Who was that? The late great Henny Youngman, Gary Oldman, Gary Stevens, or Woody Stevens?
Classic line, man. So let's roll the scrambler. What an illustrious lineup of players we had today. Sheldon G. from Las Vegas, 5:30 in the morning, Vegas time. Andy from Century Village, Boca Raton, unbelievable. Where he went from, it's kind of like that line that was it Ray Floyd that had that. He wasn't exactly a quipster, but I think he came up with the line about yesterday I was washed up and today I'm a rookie when he went to the Champions Tour.
Yep, on the senior tour, yeah.
And that's what's happened to Andy since he moved to Boca Century Village. Incredible, man. Right? He was like a punch-drunk fighter, and then all of a sudden...
now he's kid.
He's Danny Little Red Lopez again, man. I mean, look at this guy. All right. Did we fire off the question?
No? Yeah, we did. We gave the question.
So here we go. We rolled the thing, and it lands on the Chronic. Chronic, how are you?
Good morning, fellas. LBA.
Good morning.
Hey, it is, yeah.
Coming to cool down the table tonight?
I'm not sure. I want to give you guys a break tonight. We'll see. See how we do.
All right, cool.
True or false? And sticking with horse racing, and Lenny, this is right up your alley. Believe it or not, in the 1928 Preakness, there were 2 uncoupled horses entered, and they were actually named Mars and, you guessed it, Uranus. True or false?
Wow.
I'll say true.
No.
Wow.
I had to put that into the Gabe Lubie crap last week.
All right. Well, not uncommon for Lenny to whiff on the true-false question. So you do have one, Lenny, going for 4.
All right, Lubie. Okay. Here we go.
Chronic.
Lenny, which Hall of Fame goaltender holds the record for most goals allowed in one final series, in the whole series of the finals? Martin Brodeur, Ken Dryden, Tony Esposito, or Patrick Waugh?
Wow.
Jesus.
We think none of the above.
Tony Esposito.
Esposito. Yes.
Wow. He allowed 32 goals in a 6-game series versus Montreal in 1973.
Holy shit.
All right, how do you want to? You'll have to think about this, Libby. How do you want to handle this for the finals here? Because Lenny's in.
We got to do the last question.
He's already in.
We still got a 5-point question.
He wants to rub it in, I guess.
He's in, yeah. Okay, all right. Then let him pile it on. All right.
All right, Lenny. Back to the Preakness. Which horse won
premature
the Preakness,
evaluation there? Yeah,
which horse won the Preakness by the largest margin? Funny Side, Secretariat, Count Fleet, or Smarty Jones?
Jesus.
You see those?
Yeah. Which one by the largest margin? Funny Side, Secretariat, Count Fleet, or Smarty Jones?
Let's go with Smarty Jones.
That's what I'm going to say.
That's a
11
nice.
quarter lengths.
Yeah.
Yes. With Stuart Elliott aboard.
Really?
All right, hang on, Chronic Man. You're in the finals. I got to get your combatant.
Then there was all kinds of shit right before the Belmont with Smarty Jones.
Yes.
What was it? Very much
while
like.
He's waiting, let me tell you about Perdomo Cigars.
Oh yeah. We forgot all about that.
305-67-6700, the number to call. 5150 Northwest 167th Street, the place to go. We just had Mother's Day. Now coming up, guess what? Father's Day, the perfect place to go. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You don't have to go to the Maldives to enjoy a Perdomo cigar like that. Go in there, get a gift certificate, buy a humidor, or buy a box of cigars for dear old dad, and he'll appreciate it. So this week, if Monday through Friday, you can get there 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, go online, www.perdomocigars.com, to find a retailer near you that sells these great cigars. So when Rosario brings in Just Steel at 12-1, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
All right. Well done, Dave Gurggles Gergely. So we're assembling the finals here. We know that Lenny's in. He had 9 points. He had 4 points. He already had it locked up. I mean, the series was basically on ice. And do we call Sheldon G back at like
Calling
6 in
him
the
now.
morning
I don't know if he's answering.
Vegas time, or do you think he went back to the sack there? I mean, if
Probably
I'm
walking his dogs.
could be. But and Andy, Century Village now. Can you get through to somebody? I guess with cell phones, you don't have to worry about the switchboard there not opening up
Or you
until
can call
11.
somebody that's been waiting on the line and get them up as a first-time starter. Whatever you do.
He's working on it, Gurgles. He's working on it. All right. So, yeah,
Who's your pick for the Preakness?
You know, I really don't know. I'm inclined to go against Mystic Dan, which probably means that he's going to jog. But I don't know that I saw that horse as a repeater in these races.
Does imagination steal it for Baffert?
Any new shooters in there? You got to always watch out for King Leatherberry and the new shooters that come in from Maryland. They're like specialists for this track.
I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And do I have the balls? That's always the question. Do you have the balls to leave out the favorite completely? Which you would have to think. What will Mystic Dan now be odds on?
8-horse field. I think he hits the board, but
odds on. Okay, all right. Could be.
Right.
I mean, why don't I try something new? Why don't I try like backwheeling a favorite?
Well, that's
a strategy that's been failing for me my entire life. And, it's the same thing like betting that 7-5 your freaking birthday, where you've been losing with this your entire life. But why change anything, right? Definition of insanity. Why change anything, especially if it's not working? All right, we do have the final set, Dave Gurggles Gergely. You'll be happy to know. We have Lenny and Andy. So it's a local final here. We weren't able to get a hold of Sheldon G, which we did attempt, Sheldon. So you had a shot at the gift certificate. Gurggles has a question. Call out your name if you want to answer. You guys know the drill. And here we go.
Here we go, guys. Let's go back to sports movies. Which former NHL player made a cameo appearance in the Nicolas Cage film Con Air as one of his convict co-pilots?
Wow.
Was that Marty McSorley, Mark Messier, Ron Francis, or Brian Leach?
Oh, God.
Who was in there? Anybody?
I know.
Lenny always wait.
Lenny.
Yeah,
Lenny. Who was it, Lenny?
I go with this. Okay. So McSorley.
McSorley. A likely choice? Oh, my
Marty
God.
McSorley, that's him.
Wow. Marty
Yes.
McSorley.
Lenny, you deserved it, brother. You deserved it.
Yeah. It took him a while to look that up on his phone, didn't it? Wow.
All right. Congratulations, Lenny. Thank you for playing, Andy. Thank you for playing, Sheldon G. Appreciate all you guys participating in the program here. We're going to continue, right, Louis? Is that the executive decision? What do you say?
Yeah, good luck with the rest of your show. It sounds great. Ask Randy Red Deer what his 10-cent super is for the Preakness.
We're going to ask him that, and then we're going to ask him for Game 7 tickets if there is a Game 7. What do you think?
Yes,
we put him on the spot right on the air. Does he go Ralph Cramden on us? Well, you'll have to call the box office there. See what's
4-2
available.
Panthers on an empty net goal.
Okay, all right. A bold prediction there by Dave Gurggles Gergely. Lubie was sitting very much on the fence, man. How does that fence feel?
Look, if I'm making me make a prediction or asking me to make a prediction, I would think the Panthers, after fucking around at home, they played in Boston well, would win Game 6. I'm not supremely confident because I think the Bruins are legit. I think all these teams are very even. So to me, I'm not trying to play the fence. I'll pick. Believe me, I've been very high, and I think the Celtics.
I don't think you're far off, actually, just being on the fence. It's I am no more certain about this than you are, Libby.
I'm not going to be Stephen A. and just yell because you're telling. Well, you have to pick a side. I think that's douchey. I am very confident in my opinions, and I've said from the beginning it's going to be Denver, Boston, and I've sort of rode that out, and it feels like that's what's going to be. So I have no problem picking a side. It just feels like this is a very even fucking series. It just feels like that.
You're talking to a guy that is betting races at tracks I don't even know the location of, based on no feeling whatsoever for what's actually going to transpire in a race, and strictly going off the odds on the board. And I'm telling you to pick a side here.
It's fine.
Very difficult. I mean, you would think, both teams will be inspired, right? Panthers, have lost now 2 in a row. Or no, they only lost one game. I mean, they lost the first game, won 3 in a row. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, no reason to feel that that was any, sign that they were on the verge of imminent collapse.
I know. And they played
So,
well. It
we'll
wasn't
see. Yeah.
or anything. They were in
Still
that
going to
game.
be a hustle. Yeah. The French Joe Philbin, Paul Maurice, he said this when the series was starting. He was being interviewed by one of the side rink reporters. And he basically said, hey, look, we had 110 points. They had 109.
Yeah.
They beat us in the regular season. This is like an even Steven series. You could flip a coin here. And that's pretty much. I don't know that it's been that way because I thought the Panthers they were showing signs of being a dominant team.
Yes, they were starting to pull away, and this last game was annoying.
And then, they just played with reference to our good friends right there, A1A and Commercial, Lauderdale by the Sea, even Keel Fish Shack. They sort of played like an even-tempered, but non-emotionally driven game.
Yep.
In Game 5. And that they always say it's cliche, but it happens to be true. And I think if you're any kind of competitor, you believe this to be at the very heart and soul of your competitive nature is that you're never out of it. That the old one game at a time thing actually is appropriate, and no matter what margin of deficit you're facing, that as long as you're alive, you're in there with a shot. No.
Yep.
I mean, don't you have to believe that if you're the Bruins, you're sitting there. I'd look at the Carolina Hurricanes. They put the onus squarely on the back of the New York Rangers, and they'll be talking about this Ranger team being one of the bigger choking dog teams after they got off to a 7-0 start. If they end up losing that series in 7,
100%.
My God! So they win their first 7 playoff games, and they'll be forever remembered as among the biggest chokers of all time, getting knocked out in the second round with what? The President's Trophy jinx, Lubie.
100%.
President's Trophy. It's a jinx, my friend. All right. So what's the plan here, Louis? Are you going to try this mixed media thing?
I've already tested it. It's there. It's good. And so we're going to have a conversation with one of our favorite hockey analysts, also great restaurateur and just hysterical human being.
Yes.
Yesterday over at his establishment. We're going to have that when we get back. Reno Sorbonne.
Okay, and that goes for what, about 10, 12 minutes, something like that?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So I got a chance to go take a leak, and then we're
yourself.
going to come back 9:30. We're going to have Randy Moeller, hopefully. If Moeller stiffs us today, wow, that would be. I don't think he's going to.
I talked to him last night. He said he remembered. So
okay, he's not in Boston for this Game 6.
I mean, he may, but
I don't think he would be.
Same time. It's the same time. No,
yeah.
I mean, they don't even.
They don't do the second round.
Yeah, they don't even do like a web series either. I don't.
Nothing. They don't have like their own feed.
I don't think so. I'm not the side.
Don't all teams do this now? Where I mean, how many people would really be inclined not to watch on TV, but to? I guess you can attach your computer to the television set and see it like that, and you would have your home team announcers. Wow.
But they don't call the game.
But they wouldn't actually be at the game. What kind of a futile exercise is that?
I don't know. We can ask them. I think they're
calling a game that's already being called for everybody by somebody who obviously is competent enough to have a network job, right? You don't hear a lot of bozoic hockey announcers. Like, do you hear hockey announcers that annoy you, Lubie? I don't.
No, they're solid.
They're very good. Yeah, I mean, they have different styles and approaches, but I think they've all been, most of the play-by-play has been excellent, hasn't it, on the NHL playoffs? So, all right. So we're going to come back with that, and then hopefully Red Deer Randy Moeller at 9:30 here. A little extra. What is this? This is sudden death overtime movie that we're in on the program. So we'll see you later on, and stick around. Reno Sorbonne from Heritage Restaurant, which, by the way, that bouillonnaise, unbelievable, huh? Did you get any of that? I like scarfed down the whole bowl. Yeah.
I tried it. I've had it before. I was like, Defo's really enjoying that.
Oh, that was great.
That pizza's fantastic. I don't know how much of
pizza was great. Yeah, whatever that was, man, it's so different.
So prasada, which is like a salami kind of a meat, and then he makes his own Thai chili honey.
Yeah, it was great.
And then sprinkles it on top. It was fantastic.
That was so different. I mean, it was like a flavor explosion.
Yes.
And the pizza came at you in waves, man. Like it really did. It was really, really interesting the way he put that together. All right, so that's coming up, and then we'll be back with Red Deer Randy Moeller as we continue an extended edition of the Defo Show here with Mike Lubie Lubitz in a moment. Now that
the time
is 9:06.
Here, let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. When you look at the exploration and what's going on today, I mean, what was your reaction to what was there on Mars? Were you expecting to see like an Arby's franchise up there, or did you have a pretty clear picture of what they were going to find?
No, but at least a Starbucks. Come on now.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on The Defo Show.
So yesterday we had the opportunity, the fun to once again join the one and only Reno Sorbonne at Heritage Restaurant. If you've been or never been, it's in the Flagler Village area in Fort Lauderdale. His family formerly owned Pizza Time, which was a, I guess, regional chain. You could say it was in Coral Springs and Boca Raton. They sold years ago. He started his own spot with, it feels like it's like Italian-American classics, paying homage at times to authentic Southern Italian delights. Elevated, great spot, casual, but also an elegant vibe. It's a really great mixture. We love Heritage. Heritage is fantastic. It's really good. And Reno is hysterical. He's a lot of fun. So today at 1 o'clock, you're going to see Mike Mayo, Defo, myself, Reno Sorbonne from Heritage. Well, we talked a lot of hockey. It fits what we do here. We also actually talk to Reno a few times every year to talk hockey. His brother-in-law happens to be, he first of all grew up playing hockey, and his brother-in-law happens to be Roberto Luongo. His sister and Roberto have been married 4 years. They have a family. So it's literally his brother. He treats him. He goes to all the games. Roberto is an exec with the Panthers now, but when he was in Vancouver, their family was in Vancouver all the time. So they are very close, and he happens to be the brother-in-law to Roberto Luongo. So that's, as Defo said, that's where it started. Well, he actually knows his hockey really well. He's great at talking hockey, and he's just hysterical. He's a lot of fun. So we love talking to Reno Sorbonne. So we will have that show 1 o'clock from Heritage. And right now we give you our conversation talking all things. It's mostly Panthers. We touch on the other series too, because he's big in the Vancouver Canucks because of their Roberto's time in Vancouver. Their family was there, so they spent a lot of time there. They have a soft spot for Roberto. He went to a Stanley Cup Finals and played his ass off and is now a Hall of Famer in large part to his time in Vancouver. So right now, our conversation yesterday with Reno Sorbonne talking pucks from Heritage on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, now on the Devo Show with Lubie here.
The playoffs again. Let's do it. We are time sensitive here. The Rangers actually are not playing Game 6 until tonight, Thursday night, in Carolina, Game 6. And then we've got the Panthers going for a pivotal Game 6, up 3-2 in Boston. Yeah. I think, what do you think is going to happen in both series? Because so many people down here, which is sometimes called the sixth borough here. Correct. We are so eagerly anticipating a Rangers-Panthers conference final. Are we going to trip over our own sticks?
Well, look.
Getting there?
There's a couple things that I always say. First off, when a team is so ripping, roaring hot the whole year, they tend to fizzle out in the playoffs. It just happens.
Sipping for the end. So
look,
who was so hot all year?
Look, when we won the President's Trophy, we got swept by Tampa round 1. Right?
Yeah.
They won the President's Trophy. They swept the first round. Looked like they were going to sweep the second round, and Carolina came back. First off, anybody who thought that was actually going to happen, and you're a fan, you're an idiot. Because
you can't keep it up.
Can't win. No one has gone 16-0 in the playoffs.
But they
right?
did.
Maurice said
I didn't say they were going to win them all, but they looked pretty.
They look good. No.
In good position when they're up by a goal. in Carolina
But
to put
Carolina's
the
a great
closeout
team.
game. But then
Carolina's a great
Carolina
team. It wasn't
going to
be
back.
easy. This wasn't.
But
If you thought they were going to roll over and die, it wasn't going to happen.
But that third period in the Garden the other night, where they just crapped the Bulls after 1-0 up, 20 minutes away from the conference final. That was disturbing to me as a Ranger fan.
You have to put your shoe on the other foot here.
Yeah.
If you're a Carolina player and you literally got nothing to lose,
right.
Put it out there.
Right.
Hit them. Fight. That's what Boston.
That's what we saw Wednesday night,
that's
Tuesday
what Boston's
night,
known
whatever
for.
night it was.
That's how we lost.
Game 5 for the Panthers did scare me because the Bruins had nothing to lose. They were desperate, and even though the game was close, it did feel like they had a little bit more urgency than the Panthers.
But they beat them to all the loose pucks last night. But it went completely opposite. With gritty, dirty, fighting, crazy. Both teams were almost kind of like
comatose.
Scared.
Right. First of all, this I think is a Defoism.
Huh?
And he likes to come up with things like the Dalai Lama, or has some pearls of wisdom, and this is one of those sports truisms. The teams. Desperation tends to favor teams that are more desperate. I totally butchered that.
Desperation is the mother of invention, basically. Yeah.
Desperate teams tend to play more, or desperation tends to. I don't even know what.
Whatever
I
it
said.
was.
If you're desperate, you're really going to kick it.
It was good when he said it. Yeah. Yeah.
I sent it.
I
tested it last night.
I'll look
It's
for it.
basically
You
saying
look for it.
that
I'll look for it.
usually you can tell which team
Fear
has
is
their,
just another word for nothing left to lose, right? Wasn't that part of it, like a country song, Chris Christopherson or something? Yeah.
You're getting really deep today.
Yeah.
Show. This is the most deep I've ever.
Desperate teams tend to play with more desperation.
Right.
Yes,
and we
you would
saw
think.
that.
You couldn't figure that one out.
Are you food drunk or
One
drunk?
drink into it. One drink into it, Reno. Unbelievable.
Desperation makes perspiration.
Yeah,
what the hell is
yeah.
going on with
I
you?
got some
Sounds
perspiration.
like Don Rickles, this guy. Unbelievable.
Well, okay. So the bottom line is Boston and Carolina have been desperate for 2 games, and they're showing it. And the other teams are getting a little bit of the gag reflex going. I mean, the Panthers couldn't put the biscuit in the basket last night. They had a million chances in that third period.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you got to. If you're going to play, you got to play all 3 periods. You can't just show up in the last 8 minutes, 9 minutes, last period. You got to play because if you keep on getting those chances, one of them will go in unless the hockey gods are really just like, no, I mean, that's really, really hard to do. Last night, both teams sucked. Boston did not play great. Florida did not play great.
One question.
Both teams sucked.
Do you think the refs sent an emissary to the Boston locker room before the game and said, hey, we know we blew it the other night. You can maybe get away with a little something in the crease, because that's exactly what happened.
I think it was probably unsaid, but I think with all the heat that they're getting for that one Bennett goal,
it was a makeup.
100%. But
the interference on Bobrovsky.
I got to be honest. Listen, and I'm a Panther fan. It wasn't. He was able to get up and reset. I agree with the good goal. I don't think it was enough to call it a no goal.
Okay.
I don't. It was all right. He hit your foot a little bit, but he was up on his feet. That thing went in.
Well, he took the stick out. My problem was that he took the stick out of his hand.
But that was our player.
Yeah.
That was Ekman Larson hit it out of his hand by accident, if you look closely.
Okay, because I saw their player with his stick.
He's a good analyst. He's not just a homer. Like Lubie.
I saw their player hitting at the stick and taking it out of his hand.
Lubie squawking.
With the stick.
The same thing, but it was the same thing with the Bennett goal. At first I was like, ooh,
yeah.
I think maybe we screwed the pooch here. I mean, we got lucky, and sometimes you get lucky.
That looked about as blatant as could be.
But we've been in unlucky positions a lot. Yeah. Then someone posted a video of the play and the rules directly on the bottom, and it made sense. I was like, all right, well, if they're looking at it this way, it is a good goal. The guy was already in the crease. It was a small little nudge. What they called was Swayman was already fully what they call extended. He was already committed to a save, and there was no way. I mean, his legs would get up and move over that quickly. So when you read that in unison with watching the play, you're like, I get it. Okay, I get it. Same thing with last night. Bob, he was great. We should have lost 8-0 last night.
Man, they should have.
Oh, Bobrovsky was solid.
Pasternak had like 3 or 4 chances that were point blank.
Yeah, he had that one play where he just went back forth, boom. Like there was. I mean, it was.
He made 5 incredible saves. It could have easily been
a couple breakaways,
6-goal game.
But if you ask, but I'm telling you right now,
both ways though, both
guys
guys were good in the goal. Yeah.
Boston sucked last night. Florida sucked last night. There was not an impressive game. I knew it was going to be a 1-goal game, 2 at the most. If there was an empty netter.
All right, now we'll say.
But now there should be urgency, right? They should be.
I think here's what Florida has been able to do very well. not only bounce back, comeback cats, and all that crap. They're good at not letting things affect them mentally.
Yeah.
I think, like, look, we went back to Boston and we won 2 games. I think it's in calm. They still have a game in hand. I think they're going to play well. However, and I've been to TD Garden in the playoffs.
No, this is.
I don't even know how they won 2 games there to begin with.
They
You know,
won
I
both games.
thought they were going to win 1 out of the 2. That is a really
I
hard.
still don't know
building.
how they won Game 7 there last year. To tell you
That's
the
a
truth.
hard building to play, man. That between the fence pierces you like a knife, dude. It is. It is such a thick. I mean, you feel you could cut the tension and the grittiness with a knife.
No,
in that.
that's a real hardcore sports town.
But
you
they
know?
seem to get up for that.
But
You know
They
what?
seem to get up for
Listen, knowing the guys on a personal level, and I haven't seen this since on the Vancouver team. There is a very cool brotherhood in that locker room right now. There's something very, very special in that locker room. There really, really is.
Does that go on all hockey teams, though?
No.
Because I'm amazed at the
No.
camaraderie
No, I mean,
and the togetherness of a lot of hockey teams watching the NHL playoffs.
you know, there's always a player or two that's kind of like, we got to go to the team dinner tonight with this douchebag. There's always there's always a bit of that, but every once in a while, there's where every single player, and it doesn't matter even if they're coming up, if they're a call up from the AHL, there's just this love for each other that is really, 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 really special right now. So I think that alone has made Florida very, very, very successful. You know. So
look, I like everything I've seen from this team. They have grit. They have comeback capabilities.
Yeah.
It's just the one thing that worries me is, you know, I'm a writer, and it's all about narrative and what's the kind of weirdest and best story.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have the Panthers who came back to upset the number 1, you know, they were number 8 seed upsetting a number 1 seed last year, and this would be like a tables turning, even though both of them had good records this year, but like for the Bruins to be able to avenge that by coming back from a 3-1. But again, I'm a nervous Nelly. Let's just see what happens.
No, listen, I mean that makes a lot of sense. But again, in the hockey world, that's why hockey's great. Look, we weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs last year.
Right.
Okay, we made it mathematically because Pittsburgh lost and we snuck in and we went all the way to the final just out of sheer will and heart.
It was so much fun to watch. I love playoff runs and the NBA, which is just all this freaking.
Yeah,
I can't believe every night it's a blowout and you don't get a good game. Hockey, every night you're on the edge of your seat.
Yeah,
and it's such a funny game because it just turns on a bounce and a deflection and the screen, and it's like it's not fair, but that's the way the game is.
Going back to your point, yes, in a storybook, Boston can get that sweet revenge, and that's what they're looking for, and it is a possibility. However, I think going that far last year with pretty much the same guys that we had last year,
experience,
a lot of experience. And if you look at the captain Barkov, and you look, and
he's playing lights out.
He's playing lights out, and he's calm.
Rob
is calm. They got to keep that.
They have the Panthers is that I declared them as the favorite to win the Stanley Cup after
Game 4.
after they were up 3-1 against Boston.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I mean, I thought they were playing the best of any of the teams. I'm watching a lot of the playoffs, and
I will say this:
I thought they were really playing great.
I will say I would still agree with you because the thing that we had to conquer was Tampa, and we did, and I think that's another thing that's adding to their confidence so much. We beat Boston last year, we beat Toronto last year, we beat everybody last year, but Tampa's always been that one knife on our side,
and they handle them easy,
and they're not forgetting it.
Yeah,
right.
Coach Maurice is fantastic.
I love Maurice's style.
Did Maurice look like a customer?
No.
I mean, when he
a little bit.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
Did he borrow that face from you, Mr. Bone?
I love it. Well, the eyebrows got to go a little high.
That's great.
He was red in the
eyebrows
face.
Got to go a little higher.
He was. That was abrupt there, Lubie. How are you, man?
Well, after that, it goes back to talking about like a commercial. So it literally there was not a smooth transition out of our hockey talk. But that's just a taste of hockey talk. We're going to have more coming up in about 10 minutes with one of the voices of your Florida Panthers, Red Deer Randy Moeller.
Red Deer, and he gets to kind of sit back and observe this thing because Bally Sports Florida doesn't carry the second round of the postseason. That's relegated and delegated to the networks exclusively, whatever network is carrying it. It's either been, ESPN or TNT. I think the Panther games have been ESPN.
Okay.
Is that exclusive? Do they rotate back and forth? I don't know. Seems to be, maybe they do. They air on different networks because they also carry them on TBS. the Stanley Cup postseason. So been interesting. I kind of enjoy the TNT TBS coverage. Is it true they're losing the NBA, Lubie? TNT? Does that loom as a very distinct possibility? That's been the talk, right?
NBC is pushing to get the NBA back for the first time in a long time, and TNT, I guess, is not willing to get into a fight with them.
Yeah.
It's weird because Ernie has said that he's going to stay with TNT no matter what. So it's like, what do baseball? I know he does do some baseball with them, and he'll do.
You'll see him on like a playoff game
and the tournament,
and then they have one of the majors. I think it might be. Is it the U.S. Open? The TNT has the rights to. I think I saw Ernie Johnson doing golf at some point.
Yes.
Which I mean that show is the best of all of the. I mean, no matter what it's just it's enjoyable shit that they go through here on the show with Kenny Smith and Barkley and Shaq.
Yep, their pregame is the best pregame.
And it's one of the few shows that after the game is over, you actually like look forward to watching, right? Otherwise, it's like you can't hit the button fast enough to get to the next piece of action. Do you ever watch the post-game wrap-up shows on ESPN or Fox or any of this stuff? I mean, are you sticking around to watch what A-Rod and Jeter have to say after a baseball game? No. If you made it all the way through to the conclusion, you got to be kidding me, man. Your head is ready to hit the fucking bricks right then. So that was my understanding, and I guess that would be the end. You would imagine that these networks, if they were smart, would try to keep that show together, but they can't do it, obviously, without Ernie Johnson, who turns out to be, I mean, this guy, if it doesn't move you to see what kind of a human being this guy is, those stories about how his wife was in Europe and they adopted a baby who they knew was going to be in for just an almost impossible existence. And they meddled their way through all of it. I mean, the guy's got cancer and he's still going back and taking care of this now adult. Remarkable, right? Makes you wonder what the fuck kind of piece of shit am I?
So am I.
I don't even want to drive these freebie coupons over to my son's house, and he lives in Boca. You're like, so it's not something that is inherent in being a part of this business where you naturally think you're the most important person on the face of the earth. All right, we're going to come back in just a minute or so with Red Deer Randy Moeller on the Panthers. Is there reason to panic? I haven't reached any kind of level of panic about this. The only thing that is panicking me slightly is that I declared them as a likely winner of, or at least having a strong likelihood of winning the Stanley Cup. Now, it depends. You still would have to say, even with the possibility of 2 series to go to win the thing, on such a zillion variety of factors that impossible to say. I mean, if anybody's telling you with certainty, hey, I know who's going to win it, they're probably dreaming a little bit, right?
Yes.
So I don't blame you for waffling on this, Lubie. I don't know what to think either. I believe there's every possibility the Panthers leave the people at the TD Garden crying in their Sam Adams beer. This shit sucks, and they're throwing the whole cup away, even though it was $15.95, because they're so embittered by the fact that they lost to the Panthers again, and especially sending them packing on their home ice for a second year in a row. How delightful would that be?
I lean that way. It feels like this team, for some reason,
it's going to do it. They're going to do it. No,
Boston and Reno was just talking about it. TD Garden is not an easy place to play. 100%. They won both games there. They lost more at home than they lost there. So for some reason, they get up and they play well there. This team sort of doesn't mind.
They dominated those 2 games. I mean, they were like not even close.
Those are the 2 games they won by big, exactly. So yeah. I don't know. I lean that they will close it out in game 6, but I'm not like boastful. The games have been pretty close. I mean, not the games have been pretty close. The games have started close. This last game, the Panthers lost. They were in it to the end. It's just they've struggled to get it in the net to me, and that scares the crap out of me. Again, for what the sport is, a bounce here and bounce there. Bobrovsky's playing out of his mind. He, I think, was the better goalie in that game, honestly, and Swayman was really good. Bobrovsky was fantastic, and they lost. So it's like, you never fucking know. The hockey's a weird ass sport. The Rangers were rolling, won 7 in a row, up 3-0. And now they lost way worse than the Panthers did. They fell apart in the third period. Like, they just got barraged with goals the last game, and they had the game in hand to close out the series. So it's like this sport is fucking crazy. It's hard for me to get too cocky about the Avalanche. We're this fantastic team, and they're in a dogfight right now. Like it's
How about this Edmonton game? It was insane against your Vancouver Canucks, where the Canucks tie the game up with like a minute 38 to go, and then with 38 seconds to go, you had Edmonton pulling even in the series at 2-2, and now they go at their pivotal game 5 tonight. All right, we'll come back with Red Deer Randy Moeller in just a moment, and we don't know. We think Red Deer is going to be on video here. We're certainly hoping so.
He just got back to me.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's going to be on phone.
All right, so we'll have a great conversation with one Red Deer Randy Moeller. That's coming up in a moment. Now that
The time.
it's 9:26. Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Codsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Codsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. Make the right choice for your home. Call Choice Mortgage today.
This comes from the great Defo Lubie. It's the bets you don't make, the chances you don't take, that can compromise an otherwise incredible life, my friend.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on The Defo Show.
Okay, welcome back to the show. We're in double overtime here on The Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, and we would only do this for certain people.
Yes, sir.
Because, there are those, if the Bambino called and said, hey, I can do an interview from the grave, we would probably hold over the show. And other than that, we could only think of one other guy, right? And that would be Red Deer Randy Moeller, who joins us here on the program right now. Of course, outstanding with Steve Goldie Goldstein, my former partner on many projects. Steve Goldie Goldstein, Red Deer Randy Moeller. Widely regarded as the top team in play-by-play and color analysis on hockey broadcasts and telecasts. Red Deer, how are you, my friend?
Defo, I couldn't be better, and I am so excited to be on with your show. It's been a while, and
Yes.
I look forward to the chat.
Did you dodge Lubie's calls because you thought he was going to be asking for potential Game 7 tickets? Is that really the reason behind the long, arduous journey it was to get you back on the program here? I wouldn't have picked up the phone either if I were you.
No, Lubie, I've left you tickets if there's for the next series or the next game, whenever the next game is, Game 7 or next series or whatever. The only thing is you just got to go to the back door, and the password is Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, I would give little for his chances of getting in. We did have a request before we get going on this hockey conversation that we want to have with you, because we turn into Don Cherry around the postseason. You know that, Red Deer. You hear the local talk shows. All of a sudden, a guy who's never seen a game in his lifetime, right? Wouldn't know Toe Blake from Robert Blake, and he's telling you everything. Oh, you can't believe it. I mean, there's no traffic around the net there, and everybody becomes a hockey expert. And we want to get into that, but we did have a special request on a previous segment of the program for your straight superfecta play in Saturday's Preakness. I don't know if you've given any thought to that, Red Deer, or if you're even familiar with the field at this point, because
Well,
your uncanny knack for this was unparalleled by anybody I've ever seen in the degenerate world.
Well, yeah, well, I'm still trying to recover from the Kentucky,
Yeah.
the Derby. I misfired on that one. I had, the old saying, had everything but the winner.
Yes.
But no, I don't really. I haven't had an opinion just yet. I'm still waiting and see what the track is like and see what's what's going on. So I haven't had an opinion yet. It's only Thursday.
Yes.
So I'll maybe tomorrow I'll take a look at it.
All right. Well, this is the problem with having an opinion, and we really waffled. I remember the great Joe Zagacki telling me when I first was getting going here in town at WIOD, he says, that they pay you to have an opinion. Don't sit on the fence. And I'm like, okay, but you don't always have an opinion on everything. So, I tend not to, just jump on one side of the bandwagon or the other. But and there was a saying in Brooklyn when I was growing up. It was not like you're scared. It's yes, you're a scared. It had an E in front of it. And we're a little scared here, Randy. I don't know if it's misguided psychosis or what, but what did that represent with the Bruins staving off elimination in the Panthers' home arena and now going back to the TD Garden with the possibility of forcing a Game 7? Well, what did you make of that, man? I mean, there's so many different angles in discussing a hockey series. What level of significance did that have besides maybe delaying the Panthers going on to the next round?
Well, I think it was a combination of things. I give full marks to the Bruins. I thought they played probably as perfect as a game on the road as they could possibly play. And they got the great saves from Swayman. And then, the Panthers game is all based on pace, and it's all based on pressure and puck pressure and then quick movements. And I felt that they were a little bit off, a little out of sync, and they were turning the puck over. They weren't sustaining the pressure that they're usually known for and enjoy, and that's what makes them the identity of their team. And it was hit and miss in that game, and you could see it right from the very beginning that maybe their intensity level had dipped a little bit, because that's such a big part of their overall game. And that the Panthers are known as the most physical, aggressive, best forechecking and puck handling team in the NHL. Everybody agrees with that. But in order to play that style, I mean, you have to have the pace and everybody going at the same time. And if there's anything that breaks up and they're not in sync, it's very noticeable. And I just felt that they just weren't at the top of their game. There was some parts they were, and they just about tied it up at the end. But I give Boston full credits and that. And then the other thing too is the Panthers that so much in the playoffs, and I think you've watched quite a bit. I mean, you watch all these games. This special teams. If your penalty killing your power play are top notch, you're 90% of the time you're going to win the game, and so the Panthers scored that one game. They scored 4 power play goals in the game, and that was the difference. So I look forward tomorrow night. The Panthers, their special teams may be a little bit sharper and that goes along with what I was saying. In order for them to be sharp on penalty killing and the power play, they've got to play with pace, and that means moving the puck quickly and supporting each other and trying to isolate one of the Bruins and that.
Well, and that's the thing. It felt, Motorman, it felt like they were a step. Look, they were in it to the end. That Reinhart literally takes the shot as the buzzer's clanging that could have tied the game. So it wasn't like they got blown off the puck, but it felt like what you just said is exactly how it felt. It felt like they were a step behind. It felt like the urgency, obviously, when you're down 3-1, was there for the Bruins. And the Panthers, who had played with a lot of urgency the previous 3 games, it felt like the passing was off. They're usually so crisp in the puck movement, and they were turning it over in their own zone, which is something they don't do a lot. They weren't giving Bob a lot of help around the net. Like Pasternak had a ton of chances that Bob saved their literal ass multiple times that you hadn't seen that in those 3 games prior. Do you think we see more of that in this game? It is, look, you now gave up a game at home. You're now back in Boston. It feels like the tone is there for that urgency to sort of return to me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And you know, they're not going to be successful and run off 7, 8, 9 wins in a row in the playoffs. You see in the Ranger game or the series with Carolina, the first 2, 3 games. I mean, the Rangers were just everybody watching that team and saying, "Oh my God, they're never going to lose. They're just a machine out there." And then it's very tough to execute like that and have that consistency. And now you're seeing, you know, Carolina's now back into the series and that. But I will say it didn't go unnoticed when the Panthers really pushed at the end of the season. And right at that last game, they were able to jump over Boston and win the division. And a lot of people, you know, they didn't see really the importance of that. Oh, okay, you won the division. Yeah. Well, guess what? Because if it's needed and if it does go to Game 7, you're on home ice, and that makes a big difference. And we know how the Panthers feed off that crowd of 20,000 people at their rink out in Sunrise. That how important that is. And let's not cross that bridge just yet. But it's nice to have that card in your back pocket when needed. But the Panthers, they've won 5 straight in the playoffs on the road in Boston. They have been able to play their game, and that's what I expect tomorrow night. I expect this team, the Panthers, they're really, unlike me in school, they learn very quickly. And they recognize the areas that need improvement, and I've never been around a team like this Panther team that's able to, okay, we got to shore this up. We got to be a little better in this department, and bang, they're able to do that. It doesn't linger for 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and that's one of the reasons why the Panthers are one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. So let's see if they learn a little bit, but I think the pace of it, I think that, you know, the timing, physicality. I've really been impressed, guys, with the Panthers with their discipline. They're trying to stay away from the scrums as much as they can after the whistle, the pushing and the punching in the side of the head and and taking those undisciplined penalties. I've been very impressed with that, and I expect that's the key why they are in the position that they're at, because if you do take penalties, it doesn't matter what team you're playing in the playoffs, and the Bruins are no exception. That they'll kill you on the power play. The Panthers proved that in the Tampa series. They stayed out of the penalty box as best they could, being a physical, aggressive team, and that needs to continue here in this series with the Bruins.
It's funny, as you're saying that, I'm picturing Tkachuk coming flying over the boards with no stick. And in a flying head scissors, he has Pasternak before he beats the shit out of him. And Pasternak is screaming, "McMahon!" And I guess that you know is part of the discipline also, knowing when to get involved in and when not. Red Deer Randy Muller with us here on the show, and we're in double overtime here on the Defo show. But a few things to get into now. I know you weren't doing the broadcast, but are you entitled to your usual perch when you get down there? And you're one of the guys that is right there by the bench, because I was hoping that you would have some insight into exactly what Paul Maurice said when he made that very fiery speech to his team during a timeout, and he appeared to tell everybody to go fuck themselves.
They scored the next.
Well, I think.
Were you aware of what was contained in some of that conversation, if you could call it a conversation?
Well, I think there was a lot of expressions that you can't repeat at Sunday school, that's for sure. And,
man, he looked angry. Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't do it very often, and I think that's just what we were just talking about. That from the very beginning of the game, and the Panthers give up the first goal, and they just weren't clicking on the offensive side, and there were certain parts that I think he just said, okay, I need to wake these guys up and maybe fire them up as well. And he doesn't.
Have you ever seen him on leash like that? I guess he's done it before, but have you ever been privy to the type of things that he was trying to make the team aware of?
Yeah, he's very direct, and he gets your attention. Ella, I think Don Shula.
Yeah,
to have that same kind of vocabulary.
He looked Shula-esque. He really did, man. I think the jaw was even sticking out a little bit.
Yeah,
when he was doing
it
that.
was.
Mild-mannered Paul Maurice, my God.
classic.
We thought he was like the second coming of Joe Philbin when he got the job. We're
Very
like,
wrong.
does this guy have any emotion?
Very wrong.
God, we could not have been more wrong. We should never analyze hockey, Red Deer. We should leave that to guys like you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I wasn't down there, so I wasn't
Okay.
down there, but I could only imagine what was said, and he said his piece. And isn't he funny and entertaining in his post-game press conference?
He's great.
He's awesome. And you know what?
I've never so badly misjudged anybody on the sporting scene in terms of what they represented and what their persona and personality was like. We were so dead wrong on this. I think Lubie even agreed with me. I don't know if that was just being gratuitous because he needed a job.
He was very laissez-faire. He was very calm, cool, collected. And we saw that with Philbin, but Philbin was just comatose. And Maurice is just
Maurice is like a giant, man. He's unbelievable.
calculated. He picks his spots. Because then remember, he lost it one time, and we were like, "Oh shit!" He lost.
Fantastic, this guy.
Okay, he's not
sense of humor. I mean, Rye's sense of humor.
Well, the last time he had the outburst was last year. Remember, the Panthers were wallowing, and they were in Toronto, and they were down in that game, and he just lost it behind the bench, and they were able to come back. And Montour scored the overtime goal, and the Panthers won 8 of the next 9 games, and they were able to qualify for the playoffs and right at the last game. And then we all know what happened going all the way to the finals. So he doesn't do it often, and it's a credit to the players and the leadership on this team. Like he has said many times, I don't need to stand behind the bench and sit there and yell and bark all game long. I trust these guys. They know when they're playing well. They know when where they need improvement. I don't have to say too much. And he's mentioned even in the Tampa series that, it's the players out there and it's in that room. And I don't need to go in there. Like he gets asked, well, what did you say after the first period? Did you go in there? He goes, no. That's the players' room and that's the team. And they're able to figure it out themselves. And that's the leadership. So I think it shows that maturity of him as a coach and the maturity of the team as well, that there is leadership and he doesn't have to scream and yell like the coaches used to do at me when I was playing. Every time I came off the ice, they were screaming at me.
Bruce Boudreau would have had a field day with you, Mulder. Unbelievable. And, you had quite a distinguished and long career in the NHL. All right, one quick last thing. I don't know. Can we give you 20 seconds to explain the goalie interference rule? And its application so far in the series, would you say wrong on both counts? I mean, what would you say?
Well, I'm not going to try and take the easy way out here, but this is going on around the NHL. It has been for a while. I said it on a broadcast, I think last year. Goalie interference, even though it has a segment in the rule book, to me, it's not a rule, it's an opinion. And that makes it very tough on everybody. It's tough on the goalies, it's tough on the players, it's tough on the coaches, it's tough on the officials, it's tough on the league. It's not a rule, it's an interpretation of a rule that's in the rule book.
Yeah.
And there's so many gray areas. It's like your default. It's like your last year's tax return. There's a lot of gray areas.
Which I think I still have to file. Yeah.
and that, and I just think that there's not much you can do. I mean, there's so many people and smarter people than I that are in this game and executives and at the league and the officials and that. I mean, there's no really right or wrong. It's not like the puck was over the blue line or not, like when they challenge for an offside or whatever.
Yeah.
Goalie interference is very hazy, and you just hope for the best. But the long-winded answer is no, I can't explain to you what goalie interference is. I'm sorry. I've been in the game now for 40-some years, and I still can't figure it out.
So you agree with them holding up both goals then? Because it's such a convoluted circumstance that you might as well just let the play speak for itself?
you're taught if you're a hockey player, especially a forward and a defenseman. I'll use them both. You're taught from when you're 7, 8, 9 years old. Oh, go to the net, crowd the net, crash the net. Yeah. Well, when you crash the net, you're gonna have a contact with the goaltender, and the same with the defenseman. Get him out of there, and then push him and cross check him. Well, a lot of times you're going to cross check the player right into your own goaltender.
Yeah, and
so the rule they try, and the game is so fast, and these officials have to make these decisions in a split second. It's not easy to do, and I don't put the blame on anybody, but I tell you what, it can swing a game and swing a series in a nanosecond, and I just hope that there's no more controversies like that in this Boston series tomorrow night and for the rest of the playoffs for the Panthers, because it's so mentally demanding on the fans, and that everybody just loses their lunch all the time over whether it is a goal or not a goal.
Yeah, both came into question, as you said, many gray areas, and I don't know that both of those goals didn't just test the line right down the middle of what would you consider to be interference and disallowing the goal, and what would be, hey, wait a minute, man, he was going to score anyway. Red Deer, always a pleasure, my friend. Where will you be taking in tonight's game, and with what level of alcoholic infusion will you be treating yourself?
Well, are you talking about the Panther game?
Yes.
Panthers tomorrow, Rangers tonight.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Yeah, that's tomorrow night. That's right.
Yeah, no, I'll be watching the Ranger game here, and I'll have my laptop up, and I'll maybe do a little research for Saturday's Preakness, and that. So that's a good evening for me.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, a friend of mine, you can appreciate this. He took a little taste when Carolina was down 2-0 to the Rangers of Carolina to win the Stanley Cup at 25-1 at that point, and then got another taste when they were down 3-0 at 35-1. So I'll be living vicariously through him, even though I do have ties, from my childhood to being a big-time Ranger fan, going all the way back to the great late Win Elliott calling games, which we look very much forward to on the radio every night. Red, you're always a pleasure, my friend. Good luck with everything, and let's go Cats.
Yeah, and Lubie, just call Goldie if you want tickets for the next.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys.
Minervini's out. He doesn't have that kind of pull anymore. All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Red Deer Randy Muller, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that was fun. What do you think? Did that restore any level of confidence that you had in the Florida Panthers prevailing in Game 6, staving off of Game 7?
Yeah, I mean, look,
I keep wanting to make that game tonight. I don't know why. I want to watch that game tonight.
It should have been tonight, but they bumped the Rangers to tonight and bumped that game to Friday.
I don't have as much of an emotional attachment to the Rangers-Carolina series. It's curious to me because you would like to see the Rangers and the Florida Panthers go at it. That would be a lot of fun with the natural rivalries of New York and Florida teams, right? South Florida, anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. You got to run, right, Lubie?
I don't
know. You're in good shape. Yeah, I have to run.
You have to run.
It's this other show. I don't even know where it's airing. And I'm going to be on it for a couple of hours coming up here in about 10 minutes. So, Lubie, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you stuck around there to hear Red Deer Randy Muller and continue to see and hear and listen to Lubie and I. Lubie and me just sit on the fence. All right. See you later, guys, as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:49.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.